you looking for quick, easy and beginner-friendly nail designs for spring? Then keep watching, because in this video I'll show you 3 nail art techniques to create flowers that are perfect if you are a beginner or simply short on time. Don't get me wrong, I'm a sucker for intricate nail art and I love spending hours on a different design for every finger, but I also believe that nail art is for everyone, regardless of experience or time. So let's dive right in. I'm starting with a soft pink base. This is the Nudi pink by Nailbayo, and I applied 2 layers since it's a quite sheer polish and I'm working on transparent tips. For the first design, we're using blooming gel, one of my absolute favorite nail art techniques. Make sure your tools are ready, so I've got my dotting tools and this pink gel polish which I put on a nail art palette. I'm dotting 5 dots of the pink polish onto the uncured blooming gel and let it bloom. The longer you wait, the more it spreads, so hold off on curing until you have the desired result. On the second nail I'm doing the same, but with a smaller dotting tool for smaller flowers. By the way, if you want a deep dive into blooming gel, I have a dedicated video with all my secrets linked in the description. After a 60-second cure, I'm using this VALLA line gel in silver for the flower centers. Take your smallest dotting tool and add 3 dots in the center of each flower. If you are enjoying this video so far, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps my channel and this way you won't miss out on my future tutorials. Cure it and apply a top coat and we have finished the first flower design. For the second design, we are going to do something really fun. We're going to use real flowers. So I forged these tiny blue flowers from the garden. To prep them, I'm cutting off the stems and the leaves. You can use any small wild flower as long as it's relatively flat, or alternatively you can buy pre-dried flowers specifically for nails. I'm using the same base color here as in the previous design. Then I apply a bit of rhinestone glue on the whole nail. I found that regular base coat doesn't stick enough to keep the flowers flat. Then I apply the flowers and I carefully press them down with my gloved finger. Then I want to flatten out the anthers, so I added some more rhinestone glue and pressed the anthers into them. Once happy with the result, cure for the full 60 seconds. On the second tip, I did the same. Also be careful not to touch the flowers too much when you press them down, because that can mess up the petals, which is what actually happened to my second nail here. But if that happens, just patch the hole with a similar color of gel polish and no one will ever know. I forgot to film this part, but you can see in the finished result that you don't see these holes anymore. One flower was a bit too big, so after curing, I trimmed the excess of the petals using my scissors. I finished this look with a layer of transparent BIAB to encapsulate everything smoothly. Then I went in with the same silver gel and the small dotting tool and added some dots to finish the design. Add a top coat to finish, and now let's move to the last design. The last design is a tiny bit more advanced, but still very easy. We're going to make simple 3D flowers. This is also one of my favorite nail techniques. So first, let's apply the base colors. I chose this gorgeous bronze sparkly gel and this purple brown color. Then I take some white 3D sculpting gel and roll it into a strand first. Always make sure to wear gloves and never touch the gel with your bare hands, as this can cause allergies. Then take a metal tool, such as a cuticle pusher, to cut equal parts of the strand and roll them into balls. Place 5 balls on the nail in a circular shape. Then I'm going to use these 2 silicone tools to shape the flower, a flat and a pointy one. I like to press the balls down first with this flat silicone tool and then take the pointy side of the same tool and drag from the inside of the 3D gel to the center of the flower. Do this for all 5 petals. Then I take my pointy silicone tool and place the pointy tip in the flower center and press the body of the tool into the gel. This hollows out the middle of the petal and causes the sides to flare up. Then I want the petals to be pointy, so I take the flat silicone tool again and drag from the inside of the petal outwards. Then I do some last shaping until I'm happy with the result. Next, I apply a golden bead in the center, and only then are you ready to cure this design. On the second nail we will create 2 smaller 3D flowers. So for this we also need smaller sculpting gel balls, approximately half the size of the ones we made before. Again, place them on the nail, flatten the balls with the flat silicone tool and drag the flower petals inward. Then again, press down with the pointy silicone tool on all petals. For this flower, I wanted to make round petals, so I'm skipping the last step of making the flower petals pointy. I made a small half flower on the tip of the nail using only 3 balls. Once both flowers are formed, you can take your pointy silicone tool and push the point a little bit below the outside of the petals to lift them the tiniest bit. This gives a more playful look to the flower petals, but it is optional. Then I again applied 2 golden beads and went ahead and cured everything before adding a top coat. I always make sure to apply a thin layer of top coat on top of 3D nails, ensuring there is no top coat filling the petals or getting under the outside of the petals, so the 3D effect remains well visible. And these are the results of all the designs that we did today. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. If you want to learn more about blooming gel, be sure to check out this video. And if you want a little bit more of an advanced 3D flower tutorial, then check out this video.